Hey, happy Saturday, everybody. I'm making this video because I realized that I assigned you guys 85 through 91 and had a lot of quadratics on it, and we really haven't talked about quadratics that much. And so I thought I would take a second to tell you through YouTube here how to do these kind. This is a quadratic. In case you don't remember, the quadratic's the kind that has the little squared there. And when you graph them, they're a parabola. And so let's see if I can make a little parabola over here. I know that the y-intercept is negative 15, so it's going to be like down here somewhere. And then parabolas, well, this one is positive in front, and so since there's no negative up there, I know that it goes up like here, and it probably goes up here. Not sure exactly where it crosses, but these spots where it crosses right here and right here, where it crosses the x-axis, those are the roots of the quadratic. So when you're solving a quadratic, you're trying to find the roots. Well, also are also known as the x-intercepts. And as I've tried to uh, pound in over and over again, the x-intercepts are where y equals 0. And so really we need to take this thing and set it up so that y equals 0. So basically just stick a 0 in for y. So these problems that you have to do on the homework basically need to be set equal to 0 to be able to solve them. And the next thing is the you could graph them to solve them and just find where they cross the x-axis. That's perfectly okay. Otherwise, you could factor them, and then once you've factored it like this, you can see that with the zero product property, which I hope you remember from before, that this would have to be 5 to make this part of the equation 0. Or instead, you could also use negative 3, and therefore those are the roots over here. I know it goes through 5, and I know it goes through negative 3, and I know its y-intercept is negative 15, so it's like down here somewhere. So I'm not even sure if that's the vertex. In fact, it's probably not. It probably goes down a little bit and then up through there and like this. But my point is, if you can take these problems and just factor them, you'll be able to find the answers like this really easy. So here's the first problem that you have that's like this. It's number 86, and you have x squared minus 15 equals 2x. So the first thing you'd do is make it x squared, and then take away the 2x, and then you'd have minus 15. And hopefully you recognize that's the exact one that we just did a second ago. I have to, and once I've solved that, it's equal to 0, which works out nice. Um, and now I just factor it just like we just did a second ago. And say if this is x and this is x and this must be what times what makes 15. 15 times 1 might be it, or it could be 5 times 3. But 5 times 3 has a difference of 2, so it's probably that one. So it's negative 5 and positive 3. And I can quick double check that, x squared. The outside is 3x, the inside's negative 5x, which makes negative 2x, yay. And okay, so then I'd say that the answers must be x equals 5, and the other answer is x equals negative 3. So another problem that you have that's kind of like this is this one, number 88. Here you would multiply it all out first, and you have to get everything over to one side so that it's equal to 0 on this side. Okay, so we need to multiply this out. This will be x squared minus 12x minus 15 equals 30. And a lot of people make the mistake here of trying to factor this side now with it equal to 30, but we don't want it to equal to 30. We want it equal to 0. So you got to take away 30 from both sides. So after I do that, I will have x squared. Oh, in fact, I made it already. It's right down here. X squared minus 12x minus 45 equals 0, and that one factors nicely. And once it's factored, you'll be able to easily see what the two roots are. Okay? I hope you're getting the idea here. And the last kind is one like number 91, where it says x squared. Let's see if I can write this one out. X squared equals 169. You don't have to use the factoring thing to do this. This you can just solve by saying, oh, I can take the square root of both sides. And then I'll have the square root of x squared is the absolute value of x. That's important that you know that. It's not just x, it's the absolute value of x. And square root of 169 is 13. So I'm almost done, but now I just got to use what I know about absolute values to say either x has to be 13 or x has to be, or I should actually say and, x has to be negative 13. Both 13 and negative 13 will work. So there's my two answers, 13 and negative 13. So on this kind, you don't need to factor them. You just take the square root of both sides once the variable's over on one side all by itself. So um, I wanted to keep this short. I just wanted to remind you a little bit about how to do those quadratics, and have a good weekend.